Last chapter was maximum madness as Midoriya and Aoyama managed to misdirect All for One. Despite his ability to tell when people have ill intent towards him, both Aoyama and his parents were able to lure him into a trap. And, while All for One was able to summon his forces of evil, thanks to the powers of Monama's copy ability used on Kurogiri, Deku was able to call in the heroes! It was a brilliant plan, it was a brilliant display, but I'm still wondering, how did they deceive All for One? I went back and reread the chapter before, and they did call in Shinso. Is it possible that Shinso's brainwashing ability had something to do with it? Let's find out. Alright, My Hero Academia, Chapter 344, Stars. That just makes me miss Star and Stripe. Alright, All for One, takedown plan initiated. We got All Might speaking to the students. Got the black border, so it's a flashback. Must have been when All Might came in to tell everyone the plan. All Might says, "We know All for One too well." And narration says, back in the UA dorms in Chapter 342. Wow. Even telling me chapter number. When Class A had just come home, and All Might and Sukauchi were about to explain the final plan. Thank you, helpful narration. I'm too much of a dumbass to know when this took place, even though it took place 2 chapters ago. Just saying. All Might says the odds of this search effort locating him were always slim. Kaminari says Bakugo was saying that all along. Sugarman says hearing it from these guys hits different. True. Mineta says, so this was all pointless? Sukauchi says, not at all. It's linked to Eraser's plan. All Might says, in order to lure the sneakiest, craftiest cowards out from the shadows, one has to force them to loosen up and relax. Is he making like massaging motions? All Might, please, don't pull a Joe Biden. Bakugo says, like even our desperate search couldn't locate those pieces of crap, screw this and whatnot, as if that's our situation. Sarah says, that's one interpretation, Bakugo. Sukauchi says, our plan assumes that they're employing the search quirk, and can therefore track every move our people make, of course. The search quirk is deviously powerful, honestly. Everything we've done since Midoriya's return makes them think we're exhausted and panicking. It will embolden them to see us making one wrong move after another, playing right into their hand. Okay. Then Eraser came up with that plan, to raise our odds of luring All for One to a location of our choosing by using his infiltrator Aoyama. And Midoriya says, oh, so Aoyama's coming back to us. He got them Deku tears in his eyes. And I can't tell if it's Ochako or Higakure saying, that's great. I think it's Higakure. And Momo comes in and says, ahem, if I may. Mr. Aoyama said he and his family would be killed if they lied to the enemy. Until we're positive that the enemy does not in fact have a way to detect lies, wouldn't this be placing the family in danger? Astute as ever. All Might says, we have a solution for that. According to his parents, they only ever corresponded with All for One by voice and never by text. And if he wouldn't make a move before verifying with all of his many allies wherever they lurk, this suggests that he has some way to instantly verify the veracity of verbal communication. Assuming he doesn't spot a lie in what he's told, he'll feel safe enough to make an appearance. That's why, just like Aozawa suggested, we'll make use of a certain someone. Ah, it was Shinso. So what, he was able to brainwash them into telling a lie, but as if it were the truth? That is a complicated application of his abilities. I never would have guessed that, honestly. It's only because it's just like he was in a few chapters ago. And I went back, I reread the chapters, I'm just like, alright, they called in Shinso. Was it Shinso? It was in fact Shinso. Alright, Shinso comes in with a, hey, looking like a badass. His hero uniform looks awesome too. I can't tell if it's Mineta or Kirishima saying, sweet costume, dude. Probably Kirishima. Froppy says, one thing shocked me when Aizawa-sensei explained the plan, because back during the team battles, you said you can't make other people speak, Shinso. Shinso says, yeah, well, about that. In April, I was supposed to join the hero course, where I'd have to hold my own with all of you. So I've been training like hell to improve my quirk, and now they tell us no one's moving up a grade in the meantime. But yeah, I can do it. Wait, that was a weird aside. I guess just to explain that he's really been doing his damnedest to level up his abilities. He says, I'll be able to make Aoyama and his folks talk so that my motives and their emotions won't come into play at all. And this kids scream amazing. But Shinso says, but the method to make it work is even more intense. I am fascinated by what the method is. And the kids cry out, still amazing. Thanks so much, Shinso. So, Class A or Class B? What's your hero name? You gotta pick Class A. It's gotta be us, right? Oh, jeez. A replacement for Aoyama. Principal Nezu says Aizawa was sure to train him well. Kids say Ara Aizawa-sensei is as awesome as ever. Nezu then says, in case you're curious, even though Shinso hasn't earned his provisional hero license yet, the acting HPSC president, Mera, has given him special permission to act during this class. And then Tokiyami says, wait a second. However, our troubles are hardly end here. Once our enemies are lured into the trap, can we truly defeat them all? Our numbers are already lacking, and if we do somehow assemble every available hero at the chosen spot for this ambush, surely this would give us away. The kids look like, oh, that just rained right on our parade. But just like we know, All Might says, the thing is, the heroes don't need to be there in advance. And we see Monoma brought in with Vlad, his teacher, with Aizawa. And Aizawa says, this is a special request, straight from All Might and his people. Vlad says, you're gonna play a key role in all this. You up for it, Phantom Thief? Monoma says, you want me to copy this guy's quirk and master it in just a few days? Where's the punchline? Because I'm not laughing. Monoma, a realist as always. Aizawa says, I'm sorry, I really am. I couldn't get through to him myself, and we don't even know if he's more Kirigiri or Shirakuma at this point. Since losing my eye, my erasure is all but useless. Oh, meaning I'll be sidelined in the coming battle. I was wondering about that, because the thing always was that Aizawa always need to have both of his eyes staring at an opponent. It was always kind of a question, what if he, now that he's missing an eye, what now? Monoma says, they say Jaku would have been a total massacre without you there, Eraserhead. Since I was little, people have said you'll never be a superhero with that quirk. It's one meant for a supporting role, for a bit player. And Vlad gives Monoma a bit of a hug. And I guess Vlad is saying, this operation will fail unless everyone plays their part. There's no such thing as a bit player. You have been and always will be a star. And I think Vlad was thinking that instead of directly telling Monoma that. Tell Monoma that directly, dude. And we see that, yes, Shinso did in fact brainwash Aoyama's mother as well as Aoyama himself. And then Monoma used his powers to bring in all of the heroes. And you see back in present day, Monoma shouting as the heroes come pouring through the portal, ha 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 ha, the man behind the curtain. Of course he had to put in those theatrics, but hey, well done. Mirko has this massive robot arm too, Jesus. It did not look that big in the previous chapter. And Tsukauchi says, just as expected, he's brought his army along. All squads take action. All Might says, if he steals one for all, he'll have no need to run and hide ever again. They'll attempt to bring it all to an end right now. And you got Shigaraki leaning down to touch the ground. I guess he was going to try to use his decay, but his fingers are jacking up, they're cramping or whatever. He says Dobby, but Dobby runs in saying, you ain't the boss of me, leader. Fancy running into you here, dear old dad. Come to watch your pals get cremated. Massive explosion of fire countered by a massive explosion of ice. And as Dobby laughs his wicked laugh, out of the portal steps none other than the students of UA, headed up by Shoto Todoroki. As he says, not on my watch, brother, you big jerk. And Dobby just shouts with his wicked grin, Shoto! Oh man, Dobby is his father's son. the time-honored tradition of yelling Shoto's name. All for One floating in the back says, like cockroaches. Are they hoping for a chaotic all-out brawl? And then All Might says, Operation Troy, Tempt, and Trap. Damn. Activate. And then out of the ground, you just have these massive steel cages, I guess? Just going... Yeah, it looks like they were just built underneath the concrete of the parking garage that they were on. Man, when did they build this? Pretty genius. Adabi says, cages? They can't be serious. And All for One thinks to himself, they must be aware we can tear these traps to shreds in the blink of an eye. And yet, they've gone to such lengths. I see your angle, All Might. Tsukauchi commands, here we go, All Might. This time for sure. You and I and everyone else put this operation together. It has to work. We once failed to put him down properly, and he may have ripped your guts out, but we're both still here, still alive. No mistakes this time, All Might. All Might says, all right. And then Monoma shouts in this massive monologue, to draw you away from UA and away from the new fort, we had to lay this groundwork. We played to your ego to lure you out from hiding, and now I'm pulling the strings. Everyone now, shove 'em in! And so massive warp gates appear behind all of the cages as All for One realizes all of this to split us up. Okay, so they'll be splitting each enemy into different places all around, basically. And this is a good way of having individual matchups of hero versus villain, and it'll be a mystery of who's going up against who because they're locked in the cages. But the question is, who's the one going after All for One? This is a dangerous and desperate plan, but it's also kind of cool too. Even bringing in the students for a little bit of backup on this. All hands on deck, definitely. I don't know how efficient Shigaraki's going to be in all this, because it seems like he does not have the power to do much of anything. Dabi's just raging out of control. But this was a great plan. It really came together. Well done. Well played. Stars is right. Because the stars of this performance, Shinso and Monoma, they really came through where it counts. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you realize it was probably Shinso from Jump? Or, like me, did you go back and reread some stuff and only realize because of that? And what matchups do you expect to see going forward? The major ones feel kind of obvious, like Toga versus Uraraka has really been set up. Endeavor and Todoroki, I think, would go up against Dabi, but I mean, I would think Endeavor would need to be the one to go up against All for One. I would like to think that we'd have Rappa teaming up with Fat Gum, or we'd have Rappa's rematch against Fat Gum, or even better, Rappa versus Kirishima. Yeah, I mean, the villains have lost so many allies. It's just like, who really is left? The major hitters are All for One, Shigaraki, Toga, and Dabi. Those are the most notable ones, so we'll just have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe and don't miss out on the next one. Or don't. I ain't your daddy, but I still love you like one. Until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.